Hey guys, it's me, EODGamer here. In this video, I want to talk to you about a very rare occasion when characters actually get better in their reruns versus their first banner. And just want to share with you 4 of them. Why is it such a huge feat? It's because the natural game progression of like gacha games is you will have a little bit of power creep. The second rerun means that there are more characters introduced, and the first banner tends to be when they put out their most marketing, the most hype. It's like an entire patch dedicated for you. So first banner tends to of course be the outlier, but there are 4 exceptions to this rule, 4 characters that have actually gotten better over time rather than a lot of other characters. So check this one out. Let's start things first off with number 1, right? The one that no one can deny. Back when she came out, she was with very steep competition, giving you a hint by saying the gender here, she already. But Jingliu was the meta all the while, but this other character, Topz Andi, was a sleeping dragon, sleeping giant, or something that people were overlooking, and that was Topz Andi, who came right after Jingliu, who was like the flavor of the month. Why this is useful, why this video is going to be useful is because you will see a lot of signs of what happened in the past to make certain characters better in future. Not only does the reruns matter, because it also tells you signs of what makes a good character even better in the long term. So Topz Andi came about in a meta where we didn't really have too many involvement of follower attacking. She was nice because she had that Nambi that goes around finding all the different treasures, but not really very necessary because you can just like YouTube videos of the map and stuff like that, so it's just decent quality of life. Again, I have here at super high crit rate just for doing showcases. This is not my actual build, but Topz Andi is one of them that really got better over time with follow-up coming into the game. Fei Xiao, you have Aventurine, you have Robin and stuff like that. Her team compositions really started to shine later on after like the next 6 months, and that is why her rerun was way better. She even came back like twice already, so that shows you how much she has improved across the period of time as well. So number 1, Topz Andi, one of the best investment values out of all of them, which is really speaking of her character design, right? Only time she is going to get better, and I think, who knows, will she get better from here? I would say it's like more or less like plateaued here. That's my honest opinion. Second character that got better, and this one is really difficult to deny, probably is Robin. She started out as decent. She started out as like great already, but a lot of people were comparing Robin to Runmei in the game state, because Runmei played into Break, and Break was like super prevalent in the meta, super cheap to build. You have Runmei, you pay Firefly teams, easy storm nom. But Robin on the other hand is a bit more premium. You do need a bit more teams to get going. Back then, she only really played together with a character like Dr. Ratio, and in a team composition like that. So it did cost a little bit more money because you need Aventurine, you need, for example, Dr. Ratio, you need Robin, and maybe some other characters to help go together like Topz and Andi and stuff. So it did take a while to get going, but Robin started growing on a lot of people. She's got even better, especially with the arrival of Fei Xiao, how meta Fei Xiao's team is right now. Robin just kept getting better and better, and I will argue that her second rerun pushed her in a position, like if you talk about pecking order of harmony characters, when she first came about, people would say like Runmei is number 1, Robin probably like number 2, or like Sparkle depending on what your considerations are. But very steadily, the game state has favoured Robin, so that Robin was pushed. And now I would feel like some people would say like Runmei and Robin are probably like equals depending on what account you have. But I think that Robin's slightly ahead right now instead of Runmei in the current game state, and that puts her at an advantage. I think that she's much better. And her first rerun that we also saw, she grew in value, definitely Robin. She also scales with Eidolon, so if any of you ever want to pick her up, it's a pretty decent character to think about too. So 2 characters already. Now a third one. We've talked about very obvious ones, right? Let's talk about a controversial one in a sense, and that is this guy over here, which is Jingyuan. Now his first banner was arguably his best, but I want to give you a huge disclaimer when I'm talking about this. This man has been getting buffs every single patch, or the odd patch, or lightning storm outside. I don't know whether you can hear it on the microphone, but we have every single patch some sort of ways of buffing him. As Erudition got meta, he got meta. We had hyper carry supports in, kinda like also benefits Jingyuan. Everything seems like with all the new sets and stuff like that, seems to like benefit him one way or the other. And I think this is definitely a character that has gotten better since he was first released. A lot of things that is like contributing to him. Maybe in future, with new characters released, he will get even better as well. Somehow this general just can't seem to die off for Powercreep. He always gets a little bit of buff. He's never top meta, but he's obviously not as irrelevant as some other DPSs here in the game nowadays. I do have her at E6, and this is my benched character, but it is what it is. Jingyuan, probably I would say a character that has stabilized or maybe gotten a little bit better in its first or second rerun in terms of its original value. But if you're talking about like game state wise, there are of course a lot of other DPSs to choose from. This is one unique characteristics that I think is interesting because Hoyoverse has favored his playstyle a little bit across the period of time in a less subtle way, in a sense. So 3 characters here. Now there are many other characters I think are really great as well. Characters that held up throughout time, and this is like the honorable mention section before I talk about my last one. You have characters like Fu Xuan, you have characters like Aventry. These characters are all really strong. To some extent, like Kafka also maintained her value really well. Her second rerun, you had like Black Swan around them and stuff like that. So these are all characters honorable mention, but I don't want this list to be super long. I just want to talk about key points that might be influencing our decisions for the upcoming meta. So that's just like some important consideration that I have. Other DPS's character, for example like Firefly, for example like Akirion, Jingliu, all these characters, DPS characters in general, do not really do too well in their second rerun. By the time they come about their second rerun, they are towards the tail end of their performance, and then thereafter like they like kind of like fall off. And if any of you who are looking at like builds of characters, don't be bothered by it. I just switch my gear around. Only when I'm doing like showcase videos and content, then I put them on their proper gear. Otherwise, I just mix and match. Just a huge disclaimer if you're seeing like, why am I running Wood Hill with freaking this gear here and whatever not. They are not my main teams, and I have every single most characters in the game. But last but not least, of course, I think that the character that is on my mind when thinking about second rerun being a lot better than the first is a character I was struggling a bit. Ronmei, but I don't think so. Ronmei was like peak at her first banner, and then thereafter she's like okay-ish, stayed more or less the same or like decreased a little bit in value. My thought process is Ho-Ho. Ho-Ho came about in the time where together with Argenti, this was probably one of the most like lackluster banner cycles of all time. It was like a lot of people were calling it a skip patch when both Argenti and Ho-Ho were coming about. But time has told, time will tell, time has told. Ho-Ho actually gives a lot of energy to the rest of the team, a lot of attack buffing, very solid character, and we haven't actually had a game state where energy mattered too much, but this character could be very interesting and did improve a lot more over time because she really gives rise to a lot of DOT teams, giving a huge attack buff to the team, giving energy cycling to the entire team as well. More importantly, of course, she gives 19.3% at max energy. So any character that has a massive energy, maybe one day we'll have 240 energy and stuff like that, right? This is very massive, and I think she might be even getting better with time. So those are 4 characters. At this point, if you found this video helpful, like, comment, and subscribe for more such future content. At this point, I highly recommend you check out these 2 other videos we have on the channel, which I think you might like. And thank you guys again so much for watching. See you in the next video.